Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This series is going to be about learning how to play the piano. I am not taking any lessons. Part of that is obviously because of the lockdown, but it's also, I don't know, I just want to try it without. And the purpose of this series is to help you along playing the piano as well by seeing someone else do it. Completely from scratch. So I have never played the piano before. I bought this keyboard now about 2 weeks ago, but I do want to do like weekly videos. And I just want to tell you guys, okay, what did I do and how did I get to this point right now? I will always be linking and referencing to other videos and other YouTubers who have amazing videos that just help me out tons. And this will all help you to just, have less searching to do, because sometimes you watch like 10 videos and only one was actually helpful. So I kind of want to help out with that, as well as give you something to measure yourself to, like, okay, someone else was capable of doing this after a week or got stuck on that, how am I doing? But also to help you out with problems. I will probably bump into tons of problems and then figure them out somehow, and well, maybe that will help you too. And of course I hope it will just be fun. Everything will be streamed on Twitch, so that's what I'm doing right now, and then I'll post the videos on YouTube, which are of course a bit more cut short to make sure that, well, we only have the essence of the whole thing. Okay, so some basic information about me. So my name is Vera. As I said, I bought this keyboard 2 weeks ago, but I haven't actually practiced for 2 weeks because, well, I practiced for like a week nicely and then I wanted to make a video. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's not so easy because how do you connect this thing to the computer and then how do I get the sound? And oh God, so that was quite a nightmare. But anyways, it's finally all connected, and honestly, I'm not too happy about the whole setup yet because I can hear myself through this side and the keyboard through that side. I would prefer to just hit the keyboard, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll get better at this stuff. Anyways, keyboard I have is a 61 keys, so that's probably important for you to know. And what's also important for you to know is that though it is the first time I am working with this thing, I have played the flute before. So it's not like I have zero knowledge when it comes to music. I can read sheet music, though only the ones for the flute, because they have a different key and it's entirely different. Still though, I have a basic understanding of what music is and how it kind of works. So, I mean, I'm like a complete noob, but I am a noob at the keyboard. So I don't really know a lot yet. I'm still discovering every day. This video, I want to tell you guys about who helped me out tons in terms of, how to get started. So at some point I decided, well, actually I've been wanting to play the keyboard for a while now. And at some point I was like, okay, now I'm going to do it. And a channel that really helped me out figuring out what kind of keyboard was good for me was the YouTube account of Jeremy C. I definitely recommend him. Even if you're not going to buy a keyboard that he recommends, just getting a basic understanding of what keyboards can offer and what it is that you might think is more or less important. Just figuring that out is just great to watch his videos, because sometimes he was like, oh, but I want a certain feeling to these keys, and I was like, yeah, I really don't care. If they work, they work. I just want a nice sound. But that may differ. It depends on what you want. So it's just nice to know what the differences are and which keyboards are good. The ones that I've got, the one that I've got is a Casio. I must say I'm pretty happy with it, even though it's like fairly cheap, which really doesn't say too much about it all. I wouldn't judge a keyboard too much on its price because there are hidden gems, like a lot of them. What was important for me was really the sound, as I said before. And the first thing I did when I wanted to start was like figure out what's this one, what's that one, I don't know. So I watched the video Piano from Scratch. No, that's the account. Okay, so the account name is Piano from Scratch. Link in the description, and it's basically in the description of that video you can find 2 new videos that will tell you which these keys are. I wrote it all down on my keyboard. You can slightly see it on the video, like I've got all the names written down here just to help me out in the beginning. It will probably be here for a long time. And also I do really recommend that you watch at least one video about how to sit behind your keyboard. I did that totally wrong at first because I have 2 pillars under me so that I'm a bit higher, because I was sitting too low and I was playing like that, and that doesn't work. And it's so silly because I didn't even realize that when I was doing it. So that's really something, yeah, you just have to watch a video about how to sit behind a keyboard once, just to know the basics of, okay, but how is my hand supposed to feel? And even now it's not perfect because you can, yeah, I don't know, I'm still kind of working with this. I'm not really sure how to do it, but it's a lot more comfortable now. And I don't like my wrists don't hurt like they did in the beginning. So yeah, that's definitely something I recommend. And there's also a video from Pianote, 5 things I wish I knew, just some basic stuff. It was really cool to just watch that too. These are short videos and they just help out a lot, and you really have to watch like 1 or 2 of these to figure out, okay, what's the basics, what do I have to do. Then I kind of wanted to jump right into it, instead of just, you know, taking it easy, step by step. And that's also part of the reason why I didn't want to have a teacher for this. It's because I know already that what I really want to accomplish with this is being able to play pop music and maybe sing along with playing. So yeah. Usually teachers, you know, they tend to go to more towards classical music, which doesn't interest me that much. And I just really didn't feel like taking the long road. I mean, I'd rather be not that great at playing the piano, but be able to like it a lot, like love it, and be able to play whatever I want, than to be able to, you know, 100% understand what's going on and play classical music. So what I went looking for is just like, how can I jump into pop music as quickly as possible? And I found out that there were a couple of ways, actually, surprised me too, to do this. Now, first off, the video that I recommend, especially when you want to learn play with 2 hands, is the one from Become a Piano Superhuman. And then he describes the 4 chords that are often used and a little trick on how to study them, just to know how the result sounds like. Let me just play it for you a little bit. So that might seem complicated if you're just starting out, and you might think like, no way, she's not a beginner. But this was actually quite doable. Not at the first day, but like, you know, if you practice this every day, you can really get the hang of that. Obviously still not perfect. I mean, any person who's good at playing the piano will have noticed that I didn't hit all the keys at the same time, so it was like a little bit like that. It will get better, probably, I hope. But it's just good to practice it, like to do it every day, just to get like, oh, okay, no, I still have to improve, and get a feeling with your hands and figure out how to properly sit behind a keyboard, stuff like that, you know? Because this needs to go fluent, I guess, after a time. Sometime, I hope it will. So yeah, and it's really just that. That's like the whole video really teaches you these things, like... didn't hit one properly. Yeah, so basically that's what you learn from that video, and you just repeat that over and over. And it already sounds pretty nice, and these chords are used quite a lot. He is definitely saying the truth there. The C chord, the B chord, the A chord, the F chord, they're definitely used a lot, because I've, you know, started doing researching for some pop music, and I noticed that indeed these were used a lot. So I would recommend you doing that video first off to just, you know, start with 2 hands, because that can be a bit difficult to get started with that second hand. But also, you know, to just start playing and be able to do something cool. Because if you can play with your both hands and you're hitting multiple keys with your both hands, I mean, if you do that on like a family gathering or whatever, everyone will think, oh my god, so cool. So yeah, I just recommend you learn something like that so that you can impress people. I mean, we all want that, right? But something I do recommend as well is, you know, because now I did multiple keys, also try to do like 1 key at a time when you start out. So there's a link below from Piano Song Downloads. Both Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Happy Birthday can be found through that link. It's like you get Twinkle Twinkle, but then the first recommendation is Happy Birthday, so then you have them both. You want to be able to play these, right? I mean, like, Twinkle is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The rhythm from that song is used in quite a lot of songs, probably also in your language, whatever your language may be. So like my mother tongue is Dutch, and in Dutch we have to this rhythm completely different songs. So probably the same applies to different languages, I'm guessing. And even if you just want to be able to play little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, then it's still nice. It's super easy. I'm probably not doing it correct. I memorized this song. I haven't really written it down somewhere. pretty easy. And then once I got the hang of that, I tried doing it with one hand as well, which is kind of tricky because, as you can see, you need your hands on 6 keys, but obviously you only have 5 fingers. So then how to figure that one out, you kind of have to like do something like that. And the reason why I like doing that little exercise is because it helped me with my hand positioning, which is really important. I've noticed that because I took on like a monster challenge to try and do the Halo song from Beyonce. And that's like, wow, for like an absolute beginner, that's quite something. And then I also realized, like, oh god, I have to do weird things with my hands. I don't know how, where should I go? So I should have really started simple and tried to do this Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars song with one hand first before I started doing something nuts like that. But hey, anyways, I did still. And then Happy Birthday, another one I just studied at the top of my head. Oh. There. So you see, it is doable with one hand, but it's a bit tricky, and I'm also doing it at the top of my head right now. Like normally you would have sheet music or whatever, but I just want to point out that it is possible to, you know, learn the basics without having to use sheet music, because that can be a tricky part as well, especially if you're going to use like the 2 bars, like with the 2 different keys, because, you know, like I said, I've played the flute, but it's in a different key, and the notes are basically on complete different places in this other key. So yeah, I was like, how to do this? And I just skipped that at first. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do the complicated stuff first. I'm just gonna do the easy stuff first. So yeah, that's why I started playing like that. There's another way you can avoid sheet music, and that's by playing with chords. Now, chords is basically what we did before, you know, the video I said with the 4 chords often used. So basically, this is a chord. And there's a trick to this, which, you know, the person in the video will explain all of that to you. Basically, this was a C chord. Why? Okay, I touched the C over here. This is my middle C. It's called middle C because it's like sort of in the middle. And it's also the 3rd one. The 3rd C on your keyboard. You will learn all about that in the videos that I mentioned. And basically by taking 2 C's, so this is C, like, this is C number 1, this is C number 2, this is C number 3, this is C middle. So I'm taking these 2, and then I'm taking the 4th C. I start there, I just put my fingers, I use my thumb, my middle finger, and my pinky finger, and I play that. So that's the chord. But this was a really sort of complicated chord, because you can also just use one hand for this, just do that. But I like to add at least this one for a little bit more depth, because it's, you know, it's lower, so it adds some depth. And this one makes it even cooler. It's just, you know, it's just a magical way of making music. So I really like that, and all these videos will explain that to you. Then there is Pianote. Wow. I have watched quite some videos from them, basically because, you know, she's just like the most adorable thing ever. So you want to watch her videos just because of her. But it's also really useful. The 5 Things I Wish I Knew comes from her, and 4 Songs Perfect for Beginners is yet another way to learn how to play, because that one uses just chords. So I'll just open one so you can see what I mean. The link in the description goes to the 4 songs. I'm using one of those right now, and there is a link in her description that gives you the chords with the lyrics, so you can really just open that. I'm looking at it right now, and it's really just, yeah, so the sentences, the lyrics, and then above the sentences you see which chord. So for example, I have the When I'm Gone song open from Anna Kendrick, and it says C, so okay, I get myself to the C, and then well, it also gives me the lyrics, so I know exactly what I'll have to sing when I play this. Now, I'm not that great at this yet. I have practiced a little bit, but I'm not that great at it yet. So I'll just give it a quick try so you see what I mean. I get my ticket for the long way round, to buy the whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving How do you sing? So it's basically like that. You got the lyrics, you got the chords above, and you can just, you know, practice with that. Maybe I'm just making it too difficult for myself, because obviously I could just be like, this one, and then this one, and then this one again. You know, you could do it like that. It just makes it very thin. I like to spice it up a little bit with some more notes, but you can choose yourself what to do, whatever is easier. And I mean, obviously there's probably like more complicated sheet music to this song, but if you want to keep it simple, then stuff like this can really help you out. There's more, I'm pretty sure, on their channel. They also have a Chords or whatever. Then there is PianoKeys. PianoKeys is a channel that I stumbled upon when I wanted to do some what I thought were easy songs. The first one that I tried to do was All of Me, and I right away realized, like, okay, that's too much for me. To show you how that works, the notes are in the video for the All of Me video, and you can just sort of try and tag along with that, but it's really difficult. Let's see if I still remember it. So yeah, that first part I still remember, but what I really just did was study this at the top of my head so that I was able to play it. So I don't read the chords, I don't have it open here anywhere. So it's really more of a memory thing than I am able to play this song with, I don't know, something. And I find it a little bit difficult to do it in the way he presents it, because there's no sheet music or whatever. So it's really just, you have to write it down from the video or memorize it. And I can see what he's doing, but I've noticed this with more channels that, for me, it doesn't make any sense the way they put the notes. So like the left hand is at the bottom and then the right hand is at the top presented. I don't know, I just feel like it should be the other way around. That's just something that bothered me a little bit. Apart from that, I mean, it's great to hear him play it and then he explains it and you can copy him and then he explains again and does it for you and then you can copy again. So it is a nice way of learning, and it kind of worked for another one he did, which was the Halo song from Beyonce, obviously. I've kind of been learning that one, but again, I'm not really sure if the one he's using is the correct one, because I also found sheet music that was a little bit different. Like he does, so he starts out the same. But then he does this, I think, when the sheet music did this. So you hear that? So he plays an A instead of a B, so like one note difference. And there is an even bigger difference at the end of the first block, because he is playing, hold on. Okay, not exactly that, but something like that. Whereas the video that, the sheet music that I found did something entirely different. It did something like... So yeah, that's different. I don't really know if either versions are cool, because I listened to the song again and honestly I couldn't figure it out. I'm not that good yet. I'm also not really sure if they have like an actual piano at all times there, or if it's like some sort of special effect piano, because I couldn't really hear it like the way I'm playing right now, so I don't know. Still though, it was really nice to practice that, because it did teach me some stuff, especially like, well, it motivated me because I liked the song. I was like, I want to be able to play this. But it was also a nice exercise to play with both hands, which is obviously tricky. So basically how far I got with that is this. then it begins again. Okay, so that was a little bit slower than I am capable of playing it, but the playback is with the delay, so I can't do it. Yeah, so basically that's something I've been practicing, and this was again really a memorizing thing. I just started out with practicing one line, so this one. And then I separately practiced the other ones, and then I put them together. And then afterwards I added the second hand to it, which is still a bit not that great going, because, you know, it's difficult to play with two hands. If anything, don't expect that to go anytime, like, quickly. And if you can do that right away, then dang. that's quite an accomplishment. I cannot. I struggle with that a lot. I really have to, like, I'm doing something here, and then I have to stop and be like, oh, where does this one need to go? And then I can continue over here. So that's not really working out that well yet. I'm trying to get a feeling of the keys. Like, for example, I know that I have to go from A to B. So, you know, I can feel that much. You know, you can feel when you're crossing a note. But it's still kind of difficult because you have to keep, like, two fingers have to cross. And these are still doing something. So, you know, your brain has to do so many things at the same time. It's kind of complicated. And then especially because after the B, you have to go to the F, which is a black key. So that's even more difficult. Like, how do you do that without looking, you know? So I don't think I can. I think this has to be, this hand needs to do a little bit more at the top of his head, I think. But this is why we have to practice. So yeah, that. And then of course there's sheet music. There's this one video where she explains how the sheet music works. So basically, where are all the notes, and especially because of the different keys, like what happens, where are the notes, and I would just recommend you write this all down if you want to play with sheet music. I must say, at first I was like, nah, maybe I'm not gonna do sheet music, but it quickly limits what you're capable of doing. So I do recommend it after all. But maybe just not starting out, because it kind of sucks the fun out of it all. What I am practicing right now is Pirates of the Caribbean, which I still have open. This is just sheet music that I found on Google. So really just type sheet music Pirates of the Caribbean or something, and then you'll come across, like, if you just go to Google Images, you can find like tons of stuff. It's really easy to find free sheet music. And this one has obviously the two keys. I have still trouble knowing whatever is going on in the lower one, so I'm just skipping that for now, and I'm just playing the upper one because I already know that key from when I played the flute, because coincidentally it's the same one. Or maybe it's not a coincidence, I don't know. But anyways, I know that one, so I've been playing this. Oops, that's wrong already. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it goes on, but you can find this really easily. So if you want to learn sheet music, how to play it, I would really just recommend watch that one video, and then just, you know, search for stuff that you know, and try to find a not so complicated sheet, because there is, like, even for this song, a very complicated version. Why would you do that to yourself? Just use a simple one. That's so much more fun. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you just pick out an easier one, and before you know it, you're like started. So that's what I've been doing the past time. Basically every video I just mentioned is one that I actually took serious and practiced with, and I would also recommend to other people. So if you're just starting out, I would definitely recommend you check these out as well, especially if you find something interesting, or if you're like, okay, yeah, I want to be able to do this too, then definitely try it out. Yeah, I would like to play you guys something without caring about the delay, but playing something blind is kind of difficult. So yeah, I'm just gonna try the Halo song one more time, and then I'll say goodbye. So thanks everyone who was watching, and I hope to see you in the next series. Bye bye!